Painkillers by Robin E. Field. This is the first third of this story. It was with her when she sat up in bed that morning. Swinging her feet to the floor, Zoe felt her stomach clench. Nausea washed over her. She closed her eyes, willing the feeling to pass, ignoring the skittering of pain across the base of her skull. Zoe found her purse by the front door of the apartment. Methodically, not yet panicking, she pushed aside wallet, tissues, and compact. Finally, she found the tiny bag, really a coin purse, and unzipped it. The plastic bubbles were smashed, the foil pierced, all but one pill left. She pushed the pill through the foil onto her palm and hurried to the kitchen to splash tap water into a mug. She closed her eyes and swallowed, willing the pill to stay down. Finally, taking another small sip of water, she gazed out the window into the brilliant August sunlight. Pain sliced across her temples. By mid-morning, sitting in her cubicle, Zoe knew it wouldn't be enough. The pain had retreated to a low muttering behind her ears, but it lay in wait, biding its time to pierce her brain again. She needed more pills. Most of her migraines were quelled with one pill, but sometimes it took two, sometimes three. Stupidly, she had not refilled the prescription like she usually did when she was down to 2 pills. Now there was no second pill at the ready. Without it, the pain would come surging back, stabbing through her eyes, bringing up the contents of her stomach. She left work at 2:30. The pavement before her was blurry as she walked to the pharmacy, one of those big chains, 6 blocks from work and 2 blocks from her apartment. She had phoned in the refill. It would be waiting when she arrived. She fumbled in her purse for sunglasses to shield her eyes from the searing light. The pain roared in her ears. She could only think of putting one foot in front of the other, of breathing slowly. Hoping to divert some of the pain, she pinched the flesh between her left thumb and index finger. The pharmacy's parking lot radiated the August heat, the smell of scorching asphalt roiling her stomach. She stepped around a dark green Subaru, parked on the double yellow lines in front of the store's sliding glass doors. A baby on board sticker winked from the rear window. The passenger door shot open and Zoe jumped back to avoid being hit. "Just find it, all right?" a male voice said from inside the vehicle. A woman scrambled out of the Subaru. "All right." The woman slammed the door and hitched a purse on her shoulder. Her blonde hair was pulled into a messy bun, her skinny frame accentuated by yoga pants and a yellow tank top. Her flip-flops slapped against the asphalt as she hurried into the store. Zoe followed her, removing her sunglasses once inside. The store's fluorescent light was better than the piercing sunlight, and the air conditioning caressed her arms and neck. She walked toward the pharmacy counter in the back of the store, down the aisle with the shampoos, soaps, and detergents emanating lemon and pine, cleanliness, fresh starts. The white-coated woman behind the counter retrieved her prescription. "Do you have any questions for the pharmacist?" Zoe demurred, scooting forward a bottle of water to be rung up with the prescription. The woman eyed her as she scanned the items. Zoe could imagine what she saw. Clammy white face, purple smudges under her eyes, breath coming in small pants. The woman's eyes moved from her face to her arms and then back to her face. Finally, Zoe had the pills. Dropping into a chair beside the pharmacy counter, she tore open the box, extracted the bubble pack, and popped the day's second pill into her palm. The bottled water was cool on her throat. She closed her eyes and sank lower in her seat, cradling her purse in her lap. The pain scrambled around her skull. Minutes later, how many she did not know, a pharmacist was tapping her arm. "Miss," he asked, "are you all right?" Zoe nodded slowly. "Headache," she said, holding up the prescription bag. "Ah," the pharmacist said, glancing at the name of the prescription. Yeah, sit here as long as you like. Zoe's head wasn't much better, but she rose from the chair feeling self-conscious. I'm okay. I'll just go home and lie down. You don't have to leave, the pharmacist began as Zoe turned away. The man nearly knocked her down. He was rushing out of an aisle, but looking at the floor. She jumped back as he brushed past her wordlessly, swerving into the next aisle. The pharmacist called after him. Excuse me, sir. I need you to slow down. A wave of pain pulsed across Zoe's eyes. Slowly walking up the aisle, Zoe saw the man striding ahead, his white t-shirt flapping against his lanky frame. He disappeared around the end of the aisle. Zoe's stomach lurched. I'm going to be sick, she thought. I have to sit down. She remembered there were more chairs next to the photo machine at the front of the store. She entered an aisle where Halloween candy and decorations filled the shelves, even though the holiday was over 2 months away. The woman from the Subaru was crouched in front of the bottom shelf, rifling through costume accessories. She looked up when Zoe approached. What do you think? Is it me? She placed a glittering tiara on her head, grinning like a deranged beauty queen. Nice, Zoe said vaguely, fighting the nausea. Collapsing into a chair at the front of the store, Zoe closed her eyes. Tears pricked her eyelids. She yearned for her bed, the room darkened by blackout curtains, her diffuser misting lavender oil. When Zoe opened her eyes, she saw the lanky man in the loose t-shirt rushing down another aisle toward the rear of the store. His head was jerking back and forth. He spun around the corner and started up the aisle that led directly to the photo machine and the chairs where Zoe was sitting. A pulse of fear rose in her gut as she suddenly understood. He was going to rob the store. He had been looking in the aisles to see who was there, and now he was going to pull out a gun. Zoe swerved her gaze to the only open register, where a tall man with dreadlocks was giving change to a customer. What should I do? She thought. The lanky man was nearly at the end of the aisle, and for a brief moment, their eyes met. Then he fell, just as he emerged from the aisle into the open area in front of the registers. He screamed, flapping his arms as he landed hard on his back.